Hello, it's Lucas here, and I've got a modification showcase for you. In this video, I'm showing off the modifications I made to Jay's transforming car. This car showed up in Dragons Rising Season 4 Part 1, and when I first saw the set, I was instantly captivated by it. Of course, it is overpriced, so you have been warned. But when I actually saw it in the show, in the season, I thought, why is it inaccurate? Because it is. It's very inaccurate. And it's got weird inaccuracies too. Like, the flags were completely wrong. They were like this instead of downwards like this. Also, they're triangles. But I'll talk more about that later. I just knew I had to fix this car. These are all the modifications I made to Jay's transforming car. And we're going to start on the hood. Now, this was reworked actually quite heavily. Not this part right here. This is pretty much the same, except it did have some more of these interesting slope pieces, curved slope pieces with the cutout right here. So I just replaced that with the full version. But most of the changes I made were in this section right here, mainly covering up the gear thing allows it to turn. Because there was just a weird gap there and I didn't like it at all. I'm going to be honest, it was weird, it was ugly, and so I just filled it in. And now it's super smooth. Well, pretty smooth. And then it also slopes off into these exhausts here, or whatever, intakes maybe. These are in the show, of course. Everything here is modeled off of pictures from the show. So any detail here you can look at in the show, and it's pretty much as close as I could get it. Also on the inside, I tiled this off with a blue 2x2 tile. There should be a grill tile in here, but I just couldn't get it to work. Well, I could get it to work, but I didn't do it. I didn't find any jumper plates in blue. Maybe I'll change that in the future, but it's just like that for now. Also, I covered up this Technic beam right up front here with a nice curved slope. I think that's so much better. I don't know why it was just exposed, but it wasn't that bad. I also moved this clip piece backwards. I don't remember how far up it was. It might have been right up here, because these swords actually really resemble a certain like golden detail that is on this part of the car, and so I assume that's why the clips are there, so you could put these swords there, but they were way too far forward, and so I pushed it backwards to make it cleaner, as you can see with the rest of the model. Then up here, this place was completely reworked because it was super deep down into the chassis of it. It was like way further down, basically. The original build, because it had like these big giant exhaust pipes that went through, and ultimately those weren't in the show, so I just reworked it to make this interesting pattern that was in the show. I mean, this isn't really that accurate, but it was as best as I could get, especially with having to keep with the transforming feature. Then moving forward, we have this exhaust thing, we have this piece, which was in the set, but it's just a little bit deeper, or I think it's not deeper, but actually it might be deeper, I don't know. Maybe it was pushed further back, but I put it in deeper like this, just so that, of course, it can work with the transforming feature. Also, these little clips represent some of the details that you see on the hood of the car. But then, moving forward, we have these lights. I swapped out the lights. Originally, I think it was just yellow cheese slopes, but I changed it to orange, and then I added the trans clear tiles here. That way, it just looked better. It was two colors in the show, and now it's two colors in the Lego model. Now let's flip this over to the other side. This side was not as hard to do, but I still did it regardless, or I'll still feature it. I don't know what I'm saying. Originally, this dragon head on the front was much bigger, and it had a huge piece in the back, and it was like all the way up to here. Let me get this to focus better. It was all the way up to here. There was a huge piece in the back, but in the show it was like way back here, so I ultimately decided to put it right here. It's pretty good there. I think it might be a little too big. I'm not sure, but it's pretty good for what it is. I also tiled off this area just to keep it smoother so it looks more pleasant when you're driving. And to match the cheese slopes that I have here, I have a ingot piece right there. That just kind of gives it a cleaner look as well. And there you go. I mean, that's the front section, the main front section. Also, I will note, I did remove the actual spinning function of these spinners here. That's not because it was a bad function, but simply because it stopped working on mine for some reason. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because of the modifications I made, but it stopped working. So they're not here. But that doesn't mean you have to change that if you're going to follow any of these changes that I made. Now, further on, we have this part of the car, which was the thing that prompted me to actually make the change because of how inaccurate it was. Now, this one I can kind of understand because the original one had these two bars on the inside and it made it way more stable. It also had one big piece. But ultimately, I just thought it would look better if it was this wider design as, you see in the show. And so that's what I did. And ultimately, I'm really happy with how this looks. You can see it's got the bars on the end, which makes it really wide. The windscreen area is also much wider than on the set. I wish I could actually add transparent pieces here, but I don't have any transparent pieces that fit that space. I think the best option could be to get like transparent flag pieces because those probably exist. If they don't, then don't do that. I certainly don't have them, but I don't know if they exist or not. I also added some tiles up here just to give it a smoother look because that's a personal preference of mine. And so I did that. I like tiled things. I know some people like to have a bunch of studs to show that's a Lego model. Personally, I'm more fond of the tiled look of things. Then one sacrifice I did have to make for this model, unfortunately, was with the seating arrangement. You can see on the inside they're sat down on jumper plates. That is so they don't collide with the bar here. Their heads don't collide, that is. I would have preferred not to have them on jumper plates. I would have preferred them to be all the way up to the edge. Almost put Nia in wrong. Hold on. Nia needs to go in there. But ultimately, it couldn't work because their heads kept colliding. And so I had to put them inwards by half a stud, which is why they are sitting on jumper plates. If I could change anything, I would love to change that, but it physically is impossible because of these bars here. So that's just unfortunate. It also means they can't use the new dragon armor pieces that you can see on Kai here. They can't use those because they're too close together. Technically, if you offset them, they could fit, but I don't think there's enough room. I haven't tried it, so I'm telling you that based off of nothing, pretty much. I also offset the back headrest of the chair to match where they're sitting now. Moving even further back, we have the flags, which of course I talked about a little bit in the intro, but these things were just weird to me why they were inaccurate. They were just triangles like this, but in the show they hang down, and we see them, like we see in Ninjago sets, plenty of flags. Ninjago core theme had tons of flags just like this. I don't know why they didn't just do this. Of course, it is a triangle, it should be a square, but I'm working with what I have here. Now, probably the biggest change I made was the back section. Originally, the back section was just a big laser turret or whatever. I don't know. A random turret on the top. And then a crate that was just hanging down in the back section right down there. None of that was in the show, so I decided to completely omit it in favor of giving Kai a place to stand when he's not in his dragon form, as of course we see him do plenty of times in the show. That's actually just where he rides. Of course, Nia and Jay are in the front, and then Kai is just unfortunately sitting in the back, although, I don't know, maybe he enjoys the experience. It's not the most ideal position because it's kind of hard to pose them, especially with the way minifig hands are made. The angle of them doesn't allow it to perfectly sit on there, but you can see he can kind of stand up there, and he can criticize Jay's driving. But I mean, it was just a big thing for me to change because I felt like, I don't know why was it like that. I mean, I guess it's for play. But no one's ever going to play with it without those pieces on the back. So it's kind of just useless in the end. You can see here, it's just tiled off and then it slopes inwards, trying to keep it as accurate to the source material as possible. Going further with accuracy, there's a bar here and then a bar here. This thing technically goes like way underneath the car, but it's really hard to find a good connection place, and I don't have that many bars in general. There's also this nice blue rectangle. I don't know what this is for, but it looks better than just having it all be black. So, and that's in the car. I should specify that is in the actual design of the car. So there it is. And then the rest of it is just sloped inwards like in the show, of course. Everything, like I said, is trying to be as accurate to the show as I possibly can get it. I mean, I don't have the biggest Lego collection when it comes to diverse parts, or I guess especially blue parts. I don't have a lot of blue parts. So some of these details here could be a lot better, but I just simply didn't have the parts to do that. But, you know, that's fine. I think it looks perfectly fine even with those limitations. And, I mean, here it is. Jay's transforming car, so much more accurate to the one we see, of course, in Dragons Rising Season 4. And I'm just really happy with how it came together. I did wish we got to see it a little more in the show, just because I was so excited for it. But here it is. Regardless, you know, it's fine, even if we didn't see it a bunch. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my first Ninjago video, and no, I'm not just following the hype of Ninjago. I do genuinely enjoy Ninjago. I think this was just a set that needed to be fixed, and here it is. If you want to copy any of these changes that I've made, these modifications, feel free to. Don't worry, I won't sue you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which hopefully will be a lot sooner than this one was to my last video, because it's been 2.5 months. All right, goodbye.